Gaz Oakley has been described in the Daily Telegraph as a star of the meat-free world, whose recipes have gained the respect of herbivores and carnivores alike. And he's a giant right here on YouTube with over 1.6 million subscribers. And a lot of you have asked me to do some of his recipes on our channel. So that's what we're doing today. Greetings and welcome to or welcome back to PB with Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based goodness. Now, I've actually cooked from Gaz's books in the past quite a bit. And I mean, the guy's a genius. He's just masterful. And you know what? He's damn dreamy to look at. Last night, I was watching one of his newer videos about him turning his home into a kitchen. Not a kitchen, a restaurant for his parents. And I just sat there in awe of him. He's just, I don't know, the guy's, he's beautiful. He's beautiful as a person. He's beautiful as a cook. He's got the kind of like place that I would just love to have one day. And that's what we're aiming to have one day at our own farm. But we're a bit away from that. Anyway, he's amazing. I know he does have a lot of books that we could review, but I thought it would be fun to do another in our series of reviewing YouTubers' recipes like we did recently with Young Man's Cooking. Now, the other thing that I'm sure you're aware of if you know about Gaz is that while he is vegan and plant-based, he is not whole food plant-based. So one of the tasks I'm gonna have is whether or not we can adapt his recipes to being that way, because the man uses oil quite a bit. So when you see us reviewing the recipes, don't take it so much as us reviewing Gaz's recipes. Review them more as my attempts at doing them. So I'm the one on trial here, not Gaz. Now, before we peruse through Gaz's YouTube channel to decide what recipes we're gonna do, I'd like to say hello to some of the people who said hello to us in the comments down below. Walnut from Mississippi, 75-year-old Sue in Rockford, Illinois, Kia Ora from New Zealand, Patty from San Bernardo, California, Crystal from DeRider, Louisiana, Helga from Nuremberg, Germany, Joe from Texas, Enchantress from Tucson, Arizona, Georgia from Clearwater, Florida, Jane from Michigan's Upper Peninsula, Vicky from the Midwest, St. Louis, Beth in Sarasota, Florida, and Jackie, Thomasina, and Fontini from our Mighty Network. What is the Mighty Network, you might ask? Well, it's like PB with J 2.0, where you get bump ups on our shout out list, you get to get advanced viewings on these videos, and you get previews of things like our cookbook. Obviously, you can get a shout out here just by saying hello to us in the comments down below, letting us know who you are and where you're watching from. But if you want to get it a little earlier than most people, because it's a bit of a long list right now, that's one of the perks. And you can get it for the price of a crappy cup of coffee a month. All right, let's jump into Gaz's YouTube channel. I mean, mostly the newer videos is tough because it's all him cooking in his garden of magical wonder. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to do some of his more recent recipes because I just don't have access to the kind of ingredients he does. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's go into his videos. Let's look at the most popular. And I kind of like the idea of doing what we did last time. Let's go with his most popular, which is right here.
Hey guys, it's Gaz and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be making a really amazing lasagna.
His most famous lasagna recipe, delicious and plant-based. So this recipe is from 6 years ago. He has it on his website. Yay! I'll link it in the description down below as well for all of you. Difficulty 5 out of 10. Can be made gluten-free. That's important for Willie. So let's take a look at this. Calls for olive oil for frying, not a problem. Half a cup butter and flour. So that's gonna be one of my challenges, is making that bechamel sauce. I can figure that out. Yeah, there's some work to do here. Okay, that's one. Done. Next. You know what I wanna try to make? I've always had a problem making cauliflower wings, like nice and crispy, and I know he's gonna use oil to do it. Let's check out what he's got going on here. Kicking cauliflower salad. I like the idea of this. Cauliflower, corn flour. Is it gluten-free? It is gluten-free naturally. All right, we're in business. Vegetable oil for frying. Okay, so here's my real challenge. I gotta figure out how to make a baked version of this. I'm down for the challenge. All right, cool. That's 2. Let's do one more. So let's look for something else here, somewhere in the middle. What is that? Mushroom kebab? Annie will not like that. The best pasta he's ever eaten. Gaz's 15-minute meals. Oh, I like a quick meal. So is he making the pasta? No, he's not making the pasta. So this is easy to make gluten-free. We just gotta get gluten-free pasta. Kale, fennel, ooh. And it calls for some white wine. Okay. Capers, ooh. I don't love capers in farfalle pasta. I mean, let's go for it. Maybe the kids, this will be adventurous for the kids, I think. But it's flavors we don't usually have. So I'm excited because the kids at least won't say, we've already had this. It means I gotta buy white wine though. We don't really drink in this house. Maybe I can find a substitute. That's my challenge on this one. What do I replace the booze with? All right, let's get cooking. Okay, for our first Gaz recipe we're gonna make, I'm gonna make his lasagna. Ow, I just hit myself with my laptop in the face. So here's something I didn't look at when I picked this recipe. Cooks in 90 minutes. But I can chop vegetables fast, so I'm not too worried about that. Essentially, we're making a ragu, a bechamel sauce, and we're using like the lasagna that just cooks inside the pan. So we don't have to cook those in advance, which is great. So first we need to infuse milk for bechamel. So in a saucepan, we're gonna add the plant milk with an onion, bay leaf, nutmeg and seasonings, and we're gonna just keep that over low heat and stir it every now and then. While that's happening, we're gonna start making the ragu by cooking up some onions, garlic, celery, and a little bit of sea salt, and then sweat that down for 3 or 4 minutes. And then we're gonna add the courgette and the aubergine. I'm not making fun. For those who don't know what those are, that live in North America, we know them as zucchini and eggplant. And also we're gonna add in some herbs, turn the heat down lower, and pop on a lid and allow it to mix and cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. It just says mixed herbs for adding to the zucchini and the eggplant. So I just went with like oregano, basil, and thyme, because it's a lasagna. It says 1 packet of vegan mince. I don't know what that is, we don't have it here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just, in the food processor, just blitz together some mushrooms and some lentils. Hopefully Annie doesn't recognize that there's mushrooms in there. Then we're gonna add that in to the ragu. So we're gonna deglaze the pan with balsamic vinegar and chopped tomatoes. Uh-oh, chopped tomatoes? 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. I think it means diced tomatoes. I'm actually gonna use crushed tomatoes because Wooly that's what she wants. She will not want diced tomatoes. So, I might not need 2 tins. That might be a lot. I'm gonna start with 1. And then we're gonna add in tomato puree and cook on low heat for 10 to 15 minutes. Now for the bechamel, we're gonna add in, it says vegan margarine. I'm just gonna add in some aquafaba here, along with some flour, and then we're gonna use a spatula and mix it well together. The mix while stirring for a couple minutes to cook out the flour. Yeah, should resemble a paste-like consistency. Gradually whisk in the infused milk a little at a time. Once you've added all the milk, the bechamel should be creamy. If you want to make it cheesy, add vegan cheese and nutritional yeast. We'll just add a little nutritional yeast. So to build the lasagna 1 layer at a time, we're gonna do some ragu, bechamel, and then pasta sheets, and then we're gonna repeat that, making sure the top layer is bechamel, and we're gonna bake it for 45 minutes. This isn't necessarily complicated, it is time consuming. This will be ready, it's probably gonna take a little bit longer than the 90 minutes, but that's largely because I've been shooting the whole time. I'm excited. I tried the bechamel sauce. It's really good, but it was also clumpy when I was making it, but I think I got it to the right consistency. Anyway, the kitchen is a disaster. Wooly's already on it. Hey, Willy! Hi. Are you excited the dinner's gonna be late tonight? No. No, she's not. So ours doesn't have that nice burntness on the top. I'm going to assume that he broiled it before he took that photo, but it's late and I'm hungry. We're not taking time to broil. It does look gorgeous and it smells delicious. I'm very excited to cut into this thing. Ooh.
Tastes like chili.
Tastes like chili?
Yeah.
Mmm.
It looks good. Cheers.
Thank you.
It's good.
It's got some soup flavors in it.
Some soup flavors.
I like the noodles. Bye.
Eat from? You don't like it? Why
This
not?
is not lasagna. This is a soup.
And what I will say, if you let this if you leave this in the fridge overnight, tomorrow, if you cut it cold, you get really nice portions of lasagna, so you can cut nice squares of it. Obviously, fresh out the oven, it goes into a little bit of a mess. But as I said, leave it in the fridge overnight, you'll cut some nice squares.
This is a stew. Look at
chili.
yours.
Chili without the beans.
Well, that's because the noodles broke apart in a weird way. But how's the flavors? Don't worry about that. Like, is the flavors at least good?
Okay.
Think of it like a lasagna soup. There you go.
It's just really hot and it's like not tomatoey enough.
Is it tomato enough for you?
Yep.
It's a different kind of lasagna. That's why I picked it. Right?
It's okay. The veggies are just kind of undercooked.
Okay.
It's fine.
And it's really soupy. Like you can't grab. Like look, when I grab a noodle, I can't like cut it.
Get a knife. That's not the noodle's fault. You'd have to cut it anyway.
Yeah, but it's not like in a square. You want a lasagna in a square, not in a.
It wasn't a square, and then it kind of melted into that shape.
Not in a glop. It's got to stake its ground.
It looks like real lasagna. Like with meat in it.
See.
I have this for lunch tomorrow, Mom. With cheese on top.
Well, here's the thing. He does say you can add, like, vegan cheese, like grated vegan cheese. So,
This is eggplant.
so what do you give it with the extra cheese on it? It's an eggplant. I'm going to revise that to Annie giving it an A. Not for you, huh?
Nope. Certainly not worth waiting an hour and a half, 2 hours for.
I'm going to say, here's the thing. Flavor-wise, this is an S. Like, I think it's really tasty. I like it a lot. These are my kind of flavors. It took way too long to make. I would not make it again because of how long it took to make. So it's almost like it's an A+. So the recipe we're going to do of Gaz's next is, in theory, relatively simple. It's this kickin' cauliflower salad. Simple, and yet the problem with it is he essentially deep fries cauliflower. Like, it's like a cauliflower wing, cauliflower bite, whatever you want to call it. But we don't want to deep fry it. You know, we want to do a baked version. I know traditionally if you use like a batter for like a baked like nugget or something, they don't air fry well. It just doesn't work. I thought about just breading them the way I would do like a tofu nugget, where I'm just doing like, you know, the way you do like shake and bake chicken kind of thing. Like, you know, a little bit of wet into flour, into wet, into your topping. End of the day, brain fried. But I don't know. I kind of just want to throw caution to the wind and actually make this batter and just see if it actually won't air fry. This is gonna be time sensitive though, because if I let it sit too long before we eat it, it's gonna get gross and weird. I don't know if this is gonna work, to be honest with you. So basically what we're gonna be doing is making the batter. I've broken down a cauliflower. What you wanna do is find bite-sized pieces. So if you got a big chunk, just cut it in half or quarters as needed. You want it to have some structure to it so it won't fall apart while you're, you know, frying or baking it. So here's the thing, I was expecting this batter to be way wetter, so this might actually work better than I thought it was gonna work because of that. Okay, so our air fryer actually has a wing setting on it, so I just put it on that, and we'll see how it goes. I'll check them because I don't think it'll need to go as long as it says it does. No, and this is meant to be fried.
No,
Why are you doing this to me? Just fry them!
No. And then you make a sauce. You put all these ingredients onto a stove and then cook them down a little bit so they thicken and they reduce. For 6 minutes, he says, do that. And then while all these things are kind of frying, you throw together a bunch of stuff for the salad. He doesn't give really good instructions for the salad. He says 1 avocado, and then it's just mixed lettuce leaves, toasted cashew nuts, seeds, radishes, edamame, 5 spring onions. He gets very specific with 5 spring onions. And yet, how much edamame? That's the only protein source in here, like the isolated protein source. So I'm gonna do 2 cups. And what I did with that is I just took some frozen edamame out of the freezer, put it into a bowl, and I poured some hot water over it so it'll thaw in that bowl. I don't know, this one is, we're gonna see what happens. I've never actually made a successful cauliflower wing at home. Here we go. Luckily, it's naturally gluten-free because the batter is corn flour and vegan non-dairy milk. And also the salad doesn't have a dressing on it at all. I guess it's just meant to be the cauliflower is enough. Maybe it will be. And so this is not a super high calorie dinner. It's probably not even really a dinner. But what I did make was I made some chickpea cookie dough. This recipe we've made on the channel before. I'll put a link in the description down below for the video. But that's gonna be like a nice filling dessert that'll kind of bulk this up a little bit just in terms of us not being hungry later. Balance. I don't have high hopes for this. I think this is gonna fail. And I think it's just because maybe this is the kind of thing that you can't adapt to being whole food plant-based. But maybe I'll be wrong.
It's so good.
Yeah?
I'm gonna eat all of it right now.
What if you don't like it? Please don't eat from. I want more. I didn't take that much.
Wait.
It's really tasty, but I wouldn't say this is a meal. This is a salad.
Yeah.
Like,
The edamame.
I'm starving.
I know. Well, no. I made chickpea cookie dough for dessert.
That's good at least.
But this is meant to be a fried recipe with the cauliflower. I tried making a baked version. There's no dressing, isn't there? There's no dressing on the salad, but the cauliflower kind of does enough.
That's really tasty.
I give this an S, yeah, but it's not a main. It's not a main, but it's an S for me. A for you?
I wish the cauliflower was crispier.
Yeah. I could have baked it a little bit longer. I was in a rush. But it's pretty good, eh? What makes it an A?
Oh, it tastes really good. It would be an S if the cauliflower was crispy.
Okay. And that's just me. That's baking it a little longer. But the flavors are an S?
Yeah.
Right?
Mango orange juice helped.
Yeah. We didn't have apple. I couldn't find just straight up orange juice, so I used the mango orange for this sauce. It works great.
I feel like it should be a B, but like the flavor, it's just like has to be an A.
There you go. Yeah.
Just, yeah, the breading on the cauliflower tastes a bit musty.
The breading on the cauliflower tastes a bit musty. Yeah, well, it's meant to be fried, so I baked it. So I would work on that a bit more, but it's definitely, like, for such a simple recipe, it didn't take that long to put together. It's delicious. This was a winner, and it worked. You can make this whole food plant-based. For the final dish of this, I'm making what he calls his very best pasta dish he's ever made, which is a zingy farfalle pasta. That's what it looks like. So first off, they did not have farfalle, which is like the bow tie pasta, in the gluten-free variety at our grocery store. So I'm gonna use whatever the heck I found. I think I got like...
What pasta are we having?
Well, it's zingy farfalle.
He won't let me make dinner.
No, because you have to walk the dogs. Do you want to watch a video where Annie just makes dinner for us, all by herself? What if you did an entire cookbook review video, all by yourself?
Why can't I make this dinner?
Because you're just doing it to get out of walking the dogs right now.
Wouldn't you rather walk the dogs than make dinner?
No, I really want to make this because I have to make some swaps, and I don't, because we don't have time, Annie. Don't take pity on her. I know what's happening over there. You're like, just let Annie make dinner. It'll be fine. It'll be funny to watch. There's stuff going on. It's time sensitive. This has to be done quickly. And this is a quick meal, so he says. So he says this comes together in 15 minutes, which is great because I have that much time to make dinner tonight. So this is like a white pasta sauce, which Wooly will like automatically. And it's got fennel in it, which is really, really nice. So we're going to start off by getting the pasta cooking according to our packet directions. We're going to use penne. Penne. For my pasta. Pasta. See? I read the comments. I know you don't like the way I say pasta. Pasta. Ow, it burned me! It's fighting back because it knows I say it wrong. I'm aware of my shortcomings. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm mocking you. I really enjoy it when you guys make fun of me in the comments. I have no problem with it. One day, I'll come to your house and I'll make fun of you. I can't see what's going on. And then we're gonna preheat our large non-stick pan. It says to add oil. Obviously, we're not gonna do that. We are gonna saute our onion, chili, and garlic for just a few minutes, and then we're gonna add the kale until it's, what does this say? Tender stem. Add the kale / tender stem. Oh, keep the stems from it basically. So we'll cut those in separate pieces. So we're gonna add that. We're gonna add the fennel, and meanwhile, while that's cooking in a blender, we're gonna add all the dressing ingredients, which includes the zest of 1 lemon, some capers. I usually don't like capers because they're blended up in here. I'm down for it. Some barley, parsley, and basil. My brain put those two together. It does that sometimes. Pine nuts, but then there's pine nuts on top of it. This is confusing, dude. I'm gonna say, you're not great at writing instructions sometimes, bud. I mean, I see pine nuts on top of the dish, but under the dressing ingredients, you just say to put this all in. So which is it, man? And then to deglaze the pan after we've let that onion mixture cook for a bit, it calls for a white wine. We don't have any white wine here. We don't really drink. So I'm going to instead, you can swap out basically any vinegar. Like I'm gonna use apple cider vinegar, but you don't want to use the same amount. So here he's calling for a ½ cup of white wine. You basically want to do half of that and cut it with water. So it's like ½ cup total, but if you do just apple cider vinegar, it'll be way too acidic, vinegary thing. You don't want that. Turn the heat down to low and let the sauce cook away for a few minutes. Then once our pastas cook, we're gonna drain it and then add to the sauce and toss around until everything's nice and coated. There's some things missing in the instructions here. He mentions broccolini, doesn't ever tell you where to put it or how to use it. So I'm gonna do what we normally do, is just throw it in with the pasta when it's just like 2 minutes away from being finished cooking. Yeah, the instructions on this dish on this website are, no offense, guys, they're awful. They're really, really hard to follow. So hopefully whatever we're doing here is going to help that a little bit. The other thing I'm going to add to this, because we just have some in the fridge and there's no like isolated source of protein in this, is I'm gonna throw in some chickpeas because they're pretty, they're not gonna take over flavor-wise, so it won't affect that part of our review for the dish. And then we're gonna serve it with a little bit of extra lemon juice and zest, as well as it looks like putting some pine nuts on top. Although it sounds like the pine nuts are supposed to be put into the dressing. Confusing, man.
I don't like that.
Really?
No,
At all?
not really.
So it's an F for you?
Sorry.
What don't you like about it?
It's just like there's this spiciness and it's bad, and then like the flavor is like not good. Like the look looks like a pesto pasta.
It's okay.
He says this is the best pasta he's ever made.
Me? For me, it wouldn't be.
Oh, there's the kick. I like the idea of it. This feels like a side dish. The flavor takes a second to come in.
Yeah, it's got a nice flavor. I don't hate it.
What the heck?
This is the kind of thing that you put Parmesan on.
Yeah, I think that.
Put some nooch.
Give me some cheese, eh?
Daya.
Oh, bland.
Really? Get in there with like a big piece, like a broccoli or something, because there's a sauce in there. It's not bland by any means.
It's not bland, but it's like muted. That's what I mean sometimes when I say bland.
Yeah.
There you go. And some cheese.
It's not grated.
You didn't ask for grated. You said bring me some cheese. Oh,
Yeah, right.
No.
You almost lost that hunk of cheese.
no way. Not for you.
I think it's one nooch, actually. I don't want to put the diet on here. Nah, oh, whatever. Putting a little processed dye on here. He does add cheese to his stuff. We don't eat this stuff that often, really. The kids eat cheese. For those that are unfamiliar with the channel,
Don't
they're
be
not
mad.
they're not entirely plant-based like we are. Don't judge. This is a B for me.
Yeah, me too.
I like it. I wouldn't make this again.
Yeah.
Not good.
What would you give it, Eve?
C.
Eve says C. This one's a fail. This is not our best pasta. Sorry, guys. Thank you for joining me as I stumbled my way through Gaz Oakley's recipes. If there's another YouTuber you'd like to see us do some recipes of, let us know in the comments down below. We do have a whole bunch that we already are planning, like people like Well Your World and other ones like that. But take your suggestions down there and we'll add them to the list to do sometime in the future. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so down below. And if you're hanging around for a second, YouTube thinks you should watch this video next. They got it all queued up. It's just right there. I mean, it'd be rude not to click on it. We put a lot of work into it, and they put a lot of thought into making it the next video for you.